Hey, what's going on, guys? Xbox on the channel, hosted forever here. I just wanted to do a quick video for you, a media blast video is what I'm bringing now. I actually wanted to do something else. I wanted to talk specifically about the Activision Blizzard purchase and how the regulatory committee in Brazil, I think it's called CADE, actually approved it. And not only did they approve it, they gave some really good points about the where, what, when, and why, and specifically towards Sony. And that's what I kind of wanted to focus my video on. But then I decided, let me get the latest updates, see if anything was released or any other information came out. So I come to my feed here to see, what the latest news is. And it is actually refreshed a little bit. But as you can see, the media wastes no time. Right? I think it's been this thing isn't even like 2 days old. Right? I wanted to do the video when it first happened, just didn't have the time. And, lo and behold, they already have the narrative is slowly shifting. And Microsoft finds itself once again on the offensive. And now look, guys, I understand this. I mean, we're Microsoft guys here. I'm a hardcore Xbox guys. A lot of people call me Xbox, whatever, and that's fine. I don't care. Um, but I mean, we know Microsoft is a big corporation. They have a lot of enemies, not just on the Xbox side of things, right? We deal with the Sony guys all the time. We deal with the other gamers, all the normies, right? And then on the Microsoft side, I work with people. I work with a lot of IT people that just can't stand them. I mean, some of these guys, some of the stuff that Microsoft's done back in the day, they can't, they still hold a grudge. It's amazing the amount of people that can't stand Microsoft. So of course they're constantly in the news cycle. But on the Xbox side of things, it's been very positive, and even on the Microsoft side of things, right? Especially when it comes to this purchase that Microsoft is trying to push through. But lo and behold, it's not even 2 days old, man, and you already got the media already searching for the next story, right? The positive stuff's out there, so then they got to bring in negative stuff because that's what get the clicks. And we all know that, being online and being on the information highway and stuff like that. But it's funny to me that it took like 2 days, and this is this is why I still make these videos, man. And just a reminder again that the media is not your friend, especially when it comes to your system of choice or the software that you like to use or the games that you like to play. Um, because on the Sony side, look, I would say that the coverage was pretty straightforward. It was pretty direct. I mean, a lot of the stuff that Microsoft's been talking about, a lot of the stuff that I talk about on my channel, and the people that I hang out with in the know understands everything that the Brazilian authority, which is CADE, talked about. When it comes to this purchase and Sony, and them having to do the things that they need to do to become viable, right? I mean, it's not just about the money, man. It's about the whole culture, and all of that stuff got put in blast or got put on blast, and it was good to see because it needs to be put out there. And that's to me is what the media is missing. That's what they're not focusing on, and beside it being unprofessional, in my opinion, right? Because they shouldn't be playing favorites, right? They should be putting the information out there and then the people decide. Right, but it's also irresponsible because what ends up happening is you have this false narrative, which we've been fighting on the Xbox side when it comes to the console war. And yes, there is a console war. People say they don't like to hear that. Well, tough luck. I mean, that's just the reality of it. As you can see, being playing out and it's not just on the gaming side. Now it's in the business side, right? Because it affects everything, unfortunately. I'm not saying that I'm for it, but that's just the reality of it. I mean, and the way that it is now. And if you don't really do your own investigating, or if you take just people's word for it, man, you're gonna be left out on the cold. There's a lot of people right now who are disappointed on the Sony side that are not Sony fanboys, you know, because of the things that they're doing. Whether it's raising the price of their games, raising the price of the console, especially when it comes to overseas, where a lot of these um, regulatory authorities are actually, this is what they're trying to clear out. And if they're for the consumers and for the people that they're supposed to protect, um, then whatever the Brazilian authority and what they put out there um, should be a litmus test of that. That should be the basic outline of what and how to look at this purchase. Because there's a lot of stuff that Sony put out there when Jim Ryan was running around flapping his gums, talking about keeping everything fair when it comes to gaming. There's nothing fair, not just in gaming, just in business in general. But as far as that Activision Blizzard and the ruling that came out of Brazil, I'll talk about that in a different video. But like I said, that's what this video is going to be about. But I had to talk about this too. Once again, man, the media, Constantly in flux, man. Microsoft has always got this big target on their back, and this is why I love Satya. This is why I love Phil, because they're able to, they take it on. They take it head on, and they're not afraid to speak their mind, and this is the way that they do it, kind of like with a wink and a smile, but also, you can know that they know the business, right? Their knowledge base is solid, right? They're not telling you something that they don't know from either experience or involved directly in, and that's why a lot of people insulted them. I did that interview talking about letting Microsoft and Xbox compete. A lot of people were reassured because they know he's the type of person that just doesn't say things just to say it. He's also a person that a lot of people say, well, it sounds like business speak. No, it's very direct, right? Business speak is what Sony does, speaking around things, trying to conceal like their own motivations. It's two different sides. It's two sides of a very different coin. And for me, that's why I've been enjoying Microsoft. That's why I'm enjoying Xbox. But anyway, short video for you guys today. Please keep your head on a swivel. Remember, Microsoft is the big bad right now, especially in the current environment with any corporation. And I'm not saying corporations are perfect, and when they do wrong, they should be punished. And when there's something that they need to be called on, they definitely will. The great thing about Microsoft, even though it's one of the bad things, if I'm, with all the hate and stuff they get, if I'm looking for that silver line in a very cloudy sky, is that Microsoft is held to that higher standard. By both its consumers like myself and the fans like myself, and also the people that hate them, right? So that gives us I'll be honest, that gives us a little buffer. The Microsoft and the Xbox that you have now is very different from where it was 10 years ago. Okay, and that's because they take everything to heart, and they try to make their fans and their consumers happy is what it boils down to. And because of that, we benefit. I will wholeheartedly say that. I have no problem saying that. Like I said, it's not a good situation a lot of the times, but at least we get that positive out of it. You would not have Game Pass, and you would not have Microsoft buying these studios and these publishers if it wasn't for a lot of the hate and stuff they got. Unwarranted, but still, instead of crying about it, they went out and they did something about it, right? Which somebody should take a lesson, right? Most definitely. It's funny because Overwatch 2 just released, and my daughter looks like it, and she's been trying to get on the game, right? And if you guys seen the news, Overwatch 2 has had a lot of problems. DDoS attacks and some of the decisions that we made. Which, this is the kind of stuff I want this is why I want the Activision. One of the main reasons I want the Activision deal to go through. It's not just this stuff, shove it in Tony's faces, which I will. That's part of it, but that's not really the main reason, right? It's just to move on because there's issues with Activision Blizzard that needs to be addressed. Now, I don't fall in line with a lot of the other people that talk about the toxicity and all this kind of stuff. I know it exists. There's probably some over there, but it's even more than that. Taking a big company like Activision Blizzard and King and incorporating them to an even bigger company where it's just the clash of culture, right? The business ethics, all that kind of stuff, and then trying to make sure that the product, first and foremost, that the customer's not hurt and that the product doesn't suffer. And I was joking with my daughter. I was like, "Well, too bad Microsoft doesn't own Blizzard already, because if they were getting all this hate online that they're getting, right, for the servers and all the DDoS attacks, Microsoft would fix that really fast." Because that's what Microsoft does. They have no choice but to do that. They can't sit there and argue with people like other companies, employees, and celebrities and stuff do online with the fan base, right? Microsoft gets out there and tries to fix it. And I told her, I was like, well, if Microsoft actually owned Overwatch, you probably wouldn't be having all these issues. You'd still be having issues, but not as bad. Right? Because Microsoft would have got down, to the core level of everything. In fact, I teased her. I was like, if they owned it, Microsoft being the way they are, they probably would have gave the Battle Pass or Season 1 free to all the consumers. Again, this is one of my pet peeves about Microsoft. They want to be like so much, so at some point, I'm like, have some pride. Maybe give a skin or something, dude. You still are a company that needs to make money. And I know they're aware of it, dude. I've learned to kind of assuage my opinions a little bit when it comes to Microsoft. I still have my opinions, but they've given, I'll give them credit. Where credit is due, and they have capital. So we'll see. I'll attempt to sit back and see what they do. But trust me, if they do anything that's really stupid, I'll say something. Again, but this is why I want the deal to go through. I don't want to wait till next year. I want it done by this fall. so that we can move on and so we can all move on as gamers, and Microsoft can move on as a company, owning such a huge portfolio of games and studios, and they can get to the work of fixing things that needs to be fixed, and of course ensuring that the product, first and foremost, is top notch. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know what you guys think down below. Xbox Online channel, hosted forever. Yeah.